We are Vic Fellowship, and Vic stands for Vaccine Information Coalition. You're listening to Progressive Radio Network, the most listened to, commercial-free, and truth radio program in the world. My name is Renee, and the title of our show is What in the Cell is Going On? We're on every Monday at 2 p.m. Eastern, which can be accessed live on prn.fm or later on the front page of our vacinfo.org website. Today our guest is CJ Costin. She's been supporting us since we had our nonprofit over 10 years ago. We are switching over to her Silver Angel product and our creator's 21-day cellular cleanse. And thank you for being our guest today, CJ. We might have some technical difficulty getting her. They're working on that right now. So in the meantime, we will just talk about her product until she comes on. I actually went there this morning, was very impressed, although I found out that she is rebuilding her website. So she basically texted me back that that was the old website that I'm getting ready to go over with you. But it's a powerful, powerful silver. Even the more powerful than the one we've been using in my husband's 21-day, 21-day cellular cleanse that he developed, and we're no longer using that particular silver. That was a oxygen-based silver, and now we're going to be switching over to hers. So I'm going to start going over her website a little bit just to give you an idea of who our guest is. If we don't find her, then we'll get her next week. But her website right now is silverorganic.com. So it is a clean silver, which is very important to us, of course, because we want to avoid getting any extra toxins into our cells. Of course, we're all about eliminating toxins in the cells and giving the cells the nutrition that they're lacking. So on her website, she has the scripture, which is really powerful, from Genesis 1:29. Then God said, I'll give you every seed-bearing plant on the face of the whole earth, and every tree that has fruit with seed in it, they will be yours for food. So Father's even telling us in his word that we need this seed-bearing, clean nutrition into our cells. And on her front page, she says, learn more about the incredible abilities of Silver Angel, and then they have a booklet and everything, and she's even coming out with a new label, she's told me. So they're launching, and we're basically uniting after so many years of us attempting to do this, but we just never made it happen because Gary was already using a silver that he believed in, and we do have a other silver that we use for phase 2, Argentin 23, that we're still going to continue using. But for our cleanse, for our 21-day cleanse, it is one of our products we were using before called Silver Solution, and we find that this product that I'm going to be introducing you to now is far superior to the one that we have been using over the last 5+ years. Anyway, it explains that it's an immediate absorption, immediate action, rapid transit to infected area, and diffuses into the tissues 4 times more quickly and effectively than any other type of silver. Kills all single-celled pathogenic microorganisms regardless of strain or how chronic or deep-rooted the infection may be. Silver Angel is a mineral, not a metal, and its organic nature allows heavy-duty destruction on all negative microbes throughout the law of attraction, seek and destroy. The value of all things in life is only apparent when you have an in-depth understanding of its abilities, its purpose, its worthiness, and its rewards of success according to its powers of accomplishment. Please read on to further your comprehension and awareness of Silver Angel's immense potency and structural integrity as an amazing full-spectrum, all-natural antibiotic. And this is huge. This is huge because, of course, the word antibiotic we've taught in other shows means against life. Anti, against, and bio meaning life. CJ, are you on yet? I guess not. So we are going to continue reading her website. Sorry about that, everybody, but we might have some just difficulties getting in hold of her right now. But like I said, we will definitely continue going over what she has for us as part of our cleanse that we are now using. Hold on, with about link here. Okay, this was founded in 2005. The name of her company is Eutrophian Health Institute, and it's a group of health research specialists who live, eat, and do what they teach. Their knowledge and research findings put them at high caliber of health achievement throughout are through the application of power equals energy minus obstruction. Health and energy requires the input of highly nourished foods, herbs, and juices, not so much just for nutrition, but rather for the purifying effect that it has on cellular activity. And we all know that, we're all about what in the cell is going on. The body's made up of 75 to 100 trillion cells, and it's very important to give them the required nutrients they need to thrive the way our Creator designed for our cells to thrive. The body is an amazing tool of creation, and it requires care, substance, and purity. In order to be strong and healthy, there can be no obstructions within the integrity of the body's tissues, so that the nutrients that are present can be utilized without interference. Poisons, toxins, impurities, contaminating substances damage and harm the body more than all else. Pathogenic microbes are extremely toxic and are attracted to the bodies of people who are poisoned and polluted by eating of negative foods and substances. Bad food, chemicals, of course, the vaccines, and pathogenic organisms are pure poisons to the body and must be avoided. Medicines and drugs must be replaced with natural alternatives for the purpose of removing the cause rather than treating the symptoms. Associate only with the good, and you will become as good as your associations. Their research indicates a very precise understanding of sickness and disease. We all know what it is, how it happens, and how to remove it. Our discovery of Silver Angel is a magnificent finding of goodness and purity for the removal of infectious organisms and the perfection of strong immune responses. Despite conflicting proposals of many different types of silvers and their origins of quality, our background and purpose only allow us to use the absolute very best, and Silver Angel is exactly that, the very best you can buy. You cannot be sick if you're healthy. It's impossible. Learn to be as healthy as you can. The key is learn. Very few people know what true health really is, and especially how to achieve it. Optimized health is very special acquired condition of combined knowledge with action according to the knowledge and understanding that one has. Yet you get what you deserve, and what you deserve depends on knowledge and its proper applications. Knowledge is the key to health, but above that is the desire for it. You have to want it bad enough in order for it to happen. You have to give up the negatives and replace them with the intelligent choices of high-quality natural foods and supplements. Then find someone who is truly healthy and who is willing to teach you how to eat for perfect health. When you're healthy, you're never going to be sick, never tired, never sleepy, never weak, but always strong, energetic, capable, young, positive, ambitious, pure and clean from within, and about as happy as you can get. It is not the positives that one has that makes you happy, but rather the absence of the negatives. If you only do good, then good will only be the only result. And then she goes more into the actual product and the booklet and all that. And this goes, this whole COVID-19 thing. This is going to be a great addition to our already 21-day cellular cleanse that we promote. CJ, are you on the line yet?
I am.
All
Good
right.
morning. Good afternoon.
Hi, sweetheart. I'm just reading your website until you came on.
Oh,
Very
okay.
impressed.
That's good.
So why don't you start talking and just let everybody know all of your wisdom that you have about your product, sweetheart, and everything that you're doing for for humanity and how we're joining forces.
All right, sounds good. Well, my product name is Silver Angel, and the company name is Utopian Health Institute. And I stumbled upon this silver probably 18, 20 years ago, and I couldn't believe how powerful and good it was compared to the other silvers that are out on the market. So what my silver is, it's a very powerful natural antibiotic, antifungal solution that is so strong and effective that it can destroy and remove from the body almost all yeast, fungi, bacteria, and viruses. And right now with what's going on, I have people that are like waiting for income tax money to come in, the stimulus money, getting some extra money because they definitely, some of them are starting to feel puny and being enclosed in, and they just, don't have strong immune systems. So they're ordering my silver, and they're just like shocked. And I've been doing this since 2007, so I private labeled the same silver that I had been taking for quite a few years. It's safe for children. It's safe for pets. I give it to my cats. A couple of them tend to get upper respiratory infections. They can get urinary tract infections. I helped a senior that he was drinking a bottle of my silver a day for 3 months, and he went to the doctor, and the doctor said, "What are you doing? You don't have your COPD anymore." And he went, "What?" And I went, "What?" I was like shocked, you know. But it is so effective. But let me give you a little bit of background on it. So anyway, Silver Angel contains more than 230 parts per million. Actually, we're changing that if the manufacturer lets me, because I had a professor out of Albuquerque that tests all these silvers out there, and he sent me on a letterhead form that he tested my silver, and he said, "Oh, no, you are not 230 parts per million. You're 940 to 960 parts per million." He says, "You've got the finest silver out there." And get this, he sells a little apparatus that makes silver to doctors that sell to their patients. And he just said, "Your silver is superior." And I said, "I know, because I've done so many other colloidal silvers, meso, nanos, and they're good out there. And if that's all you can get, then get it. But mine is very far more superior, and it's of organic ionized silver. It is a strong catalyst that dissolves an enzyme which all single-cell pathogenic fungus, bacteria, and viruses use for their oxygen supply. The lethal consequence is they suffocate and die upon contact with this specialized silver. So Silver Angel is most advanced scientific discovery in silver preparation ever designed. I happened to stumble across people that had this same silver, and I was just blown away. But the sad part is my regular retail is $59.95. I hardly ever sell it for that. I discount really well. But my competitors are selling the same silver with their private label for $89 to $149 a bottle, and I'm sorry, but that's just a little bit of gouging of, you know, humankind, and I won't do that, you know, because I want my main mission is to help people to get well. So I help them with viruses. I have a very powerful Candida program with several products plus the silver, but the Silver Angel, the ionized silver, which was manufactured by a special patented process that combines the silver and fulvic acid, which is a natural constituent of and produced by the soil's friendly bacteria. This acts as a catalyst, and when electronically, I can never pronounce that right, interacted with the silver, it ionizes the silver particles and dissolves them down into extreme small particle sizes 10 times smaller than 0.001 micron. So this dissolving of the silver allows the silver ions to remain separated and in solution indefinitely, and gives it a higher degree of absorption and diffusion throughout the body. This creates a destructive force against pathogenic organisms greater perhaps than any natural antibiotic ever dissolved. Your colloidal silver is not dissolved silver, and it does not have the positive action in the body as does ionized silver. And that's a very important word to remember, the ionized. And so a major disadvantage to colloidal silver when electrically charged is that the silver particles are not truly dissolved, which means ionized, and they will eventually lose their charge and settle out of solution, falling to the bottom of the container. And heat and long storage can dissipate electrically, charging and further reducing the effectiveness of colloidal silvers. So I've had a lot of people say, "Well, I'm just so sick. When can you get me mine?" I said, "Well, I can ship today, and you'll have it in 2 days." And I said, "But go ahead, if you got strep throat or something like that, go ahead and get you some colloidal, get it going, you know, because you don't want to just sit there and do nothing." And I said, "It's going to help, but then when you get mine, then switch over or finish up what you have and switch over, you know, because I am a big advocate of not letting people waste products that they, you know, take, whether it be minerals or vitamins. I'll tell them, go ahead and finish what you have, but here's a far more superior one out there, and I'll give them a website to go to or a store to go to get a certain brand that I know is of quality." And so, so the next question is, why Silver Angel why is it superior? The major disadvantage of all colloidal silvers, which is 96% approximately of all silvers sold today, is the irregular particle sizes that comes from the way it is processed. The majority of colloidal silvers have a mixed particle size, end result ranging from 0.001 microns to 0.009 microns and even bigger sizes. Anything larger than 0.005 is considered dangerous and too large to fit through the smallest capillaries of the body's circulatory system. So colloidal silvers have no guarantee of particle size, and when you take it in an undetermined product without particle size guarantees, you're creating a negative condition of inferior particle size distribution and a reduction of effective therapy, resulting in poor quality and microorganism removal. So you take a chance with it. I do tell people go ahead and get it. There's far more superior colloidals out on the market than there's just a ton of them. There's so many colloidals out there. It's hard to differentiate on which one I should get. So I'll name a couple of them that I feel are more superior than the others, and then they'll wait to get my silver, which is, people are just amazed. I've had people call me at midnight from the hospital. I had an 80-year-old woman call me and says, CJ, I got your name from my daughter, and she kept telling me about this silver, but I didn't believe her, and I have pneumonia, and I'm going to die. And I went, well, don't say that. She said, well, they put me down at the end of the hall. They don't even come in to see me hardly. And I went, oh, that's too bad, and I need you to come up right now. I went, okay, let me throw on some clothes, and I'll be up there within an hour. And would you believe, April, they walk out of the hospital 3 or 4 days later, and the doctors are like, what in the world did you do? And they're just blown away. And the hospitals used to carry colloidals for staph infections, but they don't do it anymore. They don't carry anything that's going to fight it. And it's just really sad, because we need doctors, we need hospitals, but they're just not being trained in the way that I think that they should be trained, and a lot of other people as well. And it makes it sad for, I have a great doctor. I just love him to death. And he's middle of the road. He's part holistic and part regular medical. And I agree that there's times you might need medicine. You cut your leg off, you might need some morphine, But get off the medicines, because, we know what medicines do. You and I have had this discussion numerous times. Yep. So, but anyway, organic ionized silver, as found in my Silver Angel, is positively charged. The friendly bacteria in your intestines, excuse me, is also positively charged. So equals repel, and therefore Silver Angel does not destroy the friendly bacteria in the digestive system, leaving them to enhance and maintain their purpose of protecting and defending the intestinal arena from invasive microorganisms and toxins. All medicines and antibiotics kill and destroy the friendly flora immediately and are extremely toxic to the flora and the entire body in general. So when you're doing medicines and antibiotics, they strip your intestine of your friendly bacteria, which is the good probiotics, the good flora. Now, a lot of times doctors will say, I'm going to give you an antibiotic, now go get you some yogurt. And when my doctor told me that one day, I went, are you for real? I said, number one, I don't care if it's organic, it's cooked, it's pasteurized. You've destroyed all the good vitamins, nutrients, whatever that you need to get out of that. It's gone. It's like using a microwave. That is one of the worst things that ever was developed out there. You might as well be eating cardboard. You get nothing nutritional by heating something up in the microwave. It destroys. Totally destroys. If you want popcorn, go get you an air popcorn or buy it already popped in the health store. So there's things that we need to take precaution on to continue to maintain getting a healthier, body and being in a healthier environment. We can't control the air. We know there's toxins in it, but you can certainly control the chemicals that you're using in your home. You've got to get rid of everything that's chemicals, makeup, your detergents, even your dishwashing tablets that you put in your dishwasher. People don't realize that when you go and use that clean plate and you're putting hot food on it, would you believe it triggers the chemicals that soap left on there and you're eating those? It's like the water. You cannot have tap water today. The toxins that are in there are just unreal. We have to get good filtered water. But the friendly bacteria in the soil converts inorganic minerals into organic ionized particles so they can be absorbed properly from soil to plant. Ionization means giving a nutrient, including minerals, a positively charge so they are attracted electrically and magnetically to the root system of all grasses, plants, and trees for proper absorption, because the botanical roots are negatively charged. Negatively charged and opposites attract. So those are, and it's kind of scientific, and it might be a little over the head that some people don't understand about the microns and everything. It is hard to sometimes absorb, but you just get out there and just start studying and researching. There's so much stuff on the internet right now. So, and the thing that makes my silver so powerful is that you have to have a carrier. Everything has to have a carrier. I had the fulvic acid, so it carries it into the bloodstreams and the cells, which makes it far more superior. It's just like if you take calcium, which we're so over-calcified. I mean, the doctors tell you, oh, you're getting in your 50s and older, you've got to take a lot of calcium. Well, yes and no. Calcium's okay, but if you don't have the magnesium to carry the calcium into your bone, the calcium sets on top of your bones, and it causes them to be dry and brittle. And that's why so many seniors, they break a shoulder or leg or foot or knee or whatever, hip, and it's because they're over-calcified. And we get calcium in everything. So you really don't have to worry about getting that much calcium. If you're eating the proper foods that you need, not going through the fast food chain restaurants, you'll get the calcium that you need. And I suggest maybe a little calcium, just don't overdo it. And but anyway, it's amazing what God has given us out there for our bodies, as you well know. But Silver Angel is considered a full spectrum antibiotic because it destroys and removes viruses, bacteria, and yeast cells, both digestively and systematically, reaching all areas in the body. Natural antibiotics may suppress the activity of the friendly bacteria, but will not destroy them because the differences between them and the pathogenic organisms. Antibiotics just destroy, and that's what I have so many customers, they get on my Candida yeast program, which is 3 products. One's a probiotic, one's the silver, and then I have some herbs from Lima, Peru, in the rainforest, and they're phenomenal, just really phenomenal. So I've been drinking it every day, and I know you like it, and I'm getting ready to send you an order. I would just suggest folks to just go through my website and read. There's a booklet that you can download, print, or read it online. It's just got so much information, and I mean, I've got umpteen, dozen different scientists and professors, all the way from Temple University to a guy in Sweden, doctors. Let's see, the Rocky Mountain Laboratories. They did a study on the silvers. A scientist, Dr. Willie, I can't even pronounce his last name, Bergdorfer. He's a scientist, and Fox Chase Canal Center in January 1995, they did a study on the silver for cancer. And, I mean, I've got all kinds of testimonies, and that's on page, I think it's 6 in the booklet, 5, 6, something like that. So they can go to that. And, because a lot of people say, well, where's the, documented, testimony on this? I said, well, just go into my booklet. I mean, and people don't realize silver's been around since day one. It really has. And I don't know if you remember, I can remember watching Westerns, and the cowboy got sick with dysentery, and he put a silver coin in some milk, and he drank. Well, and they would put the silver coins in their well water to keep it pure from any, bad bacteria and things that would float through the air or get in the ground. So that's what they did. They would drink this, and they got rid of it. So people go, well, I've never even heard of silver. And I went, well, it's been around for a long, long time. My website is in construction right now. You can still go to it, but we're relaunching a completely new website. It's going to be dynamite. I've got new labels coming for my bottles as well in the next few months. But you can still go to the website now. We haven't switched over to the new one. We're finalizing it hopefully this week. But we're going to be able to I'm going to have a distributor in New Zealand, Australia, and I'm working on a cancer center in Hong Kong, and I'm hoping that they're going to be distributors of my silver as well. So, and I'm looking into, there's somebody in the UK that would like to be a distributor and somebody in Mexico. So, little by little, people are wanting to carry it themselves in their own clinic, which is just fine. And I have really good wholesale prices for, health practitioners and such like that. But people don't realize that the many forms of pathogenic and deadly bacteria have killed countless millions of people over the years, and multitudes more have been sickened by these microbes, which is what's going on now. We have seen how quickly diseases spread, and we can watch the spread of the bacterial growth in nutrient in the laboratories, and it is all very serious when we consider it in depth. Microbiologists and bacteriologists tell that many forms of bacteria double in number, get this, every 15 minutes at room temperature. We also know that 1 milliliter of water, there are over 1 million bacteria in the water. The scientists have also revealed that if all bacteria lived instead of constantly dying, the entire earth would be covered with microscopic germs to a height of 6 feet in just 1 week. It's very mind-boggling, and you know what goes on. And I mean, when I got on a Candida program years ago, one of the main products that I used, and it was a lot of it, was the silver. And April, here's the conditions I had, and the Candida program took care of all my conditions. I had basset colon, colitis, irritable bowel, constipation, hiatal hernia, acid reflux, and depression. And when I got rid of the yeast and I changed my diet. I mean, I was never a fast food restaurant, but I would go to chain restaurants. And, you know, I say only go to a chain restaurant if there's nothing else around and you're traveling and that's the only thing open. But people don't realize that all these fast food and all these chain restaurants, all the food's shipped in. And it's just loaded with chemical preservatives. And that's what's killing us. And people think it's so expensive to eat healthy, organic and stuff. It isn't. I shop at 4 health stores once a week. I go to all of them within a 1 mile radius, and I know what each one has. And I could go to Whole Foods, and they might have something that's a lot more than what Vitamin Cottage Natural Grocers had across the street. So I'll go back across the street and get what was on sale. So really, it's not that expensive. And you have to remember and let your light bulb go off in your brain that when you eat healthy, you eat less. When you go to a fast food restaurant, most of the time people are hungry 35, 45 minutes to an hour later. They're starving again because they got nothing that was nutritional in that food.
That's right. And I even find that raw food, when I eat raw food, raw organic food, it fills me up faster than cooked food. It like swells up in your belly or something. But it's definitely, like you said, you eat less for sure.
Absolutely. And I mean, you guys, you know, y'all learned that a long time ago, and look what you do to help educate people with, you know, the vaccines, which I'm encouraging people to go to April Renee's website, and she'll give it to you in a little while. But you have to educate ourselves, and people just don't realize that. Well, what's caused the MRSA? What's caused the shingles? Well, I hate to tell you this, folks, but they're putting it in the vaccines. And I had an article, and it's unfortunately in storage, but when I get it out, I definitely want to make sure that my customers get it, because I put certain things in everybody's box. I try to educate them. I put free DVDs on the psychotropic drugs that people are giving their children, and they don't realize that things like Ritalin and Prozac, lorazepam, Paxil, Zoloft, it's a class 2 drug. They're in the same category as cocaine and heroin. It overloads the brain. And any time somebody goes on a shooting rampage in the U.S., you can trace that person back on that they were on 1 or 2 of these drugs, and it just overloads the brain, so they explode. And they explode. Literally, they lose it. They can't take the pressure anymore. And that's what it does to the brain. So I put DVDs in on that, and I get them from the CCHR, and it's a great resource to learn about the bad things that we're putting in our body. I mean, we've got to take control of our bodies. Like I said, we need doctors. Don't get me wrong, we do. But I feel that they haven't been given a full deck of cards on a lot of the things that they should be studying in pre-med schools, and they're just not. And so a lot of my doctor friends, they're now studying on their own, and a lot of them are becoming naturopaths and keeping their medical license as well, because, you know, they kind of go hand in hand to a degree. But we've got to take control of our health and our life. It's just like people don't realize that, you know, we have such an overweight population. They don't realize one thing that's contributing to it is all these chemicals. I mean, you've got people drinking diet sodas and doing the low fat or non-fat or no fat. You have to have fat, folks, to lose weight. Don't get rid of or buy into the no fat, low fat. It's a bunch of garbage. And drinking diet sodas and doing the Sweet and Low and Splenda and Equal.
Aspartame.
Those are it's an excitotoxin. You talk about it all the time, yeah. And that also overloads the brain, causes cancer. So, and I was a flight attendant for years, and I was appalled when I'd see these parents. They'd be asking for a diet soda to put in their baby's baby bottle. I thought, oh my goodness, you know what you're doing to that child? And they don't. They think it's going to help them lose weight. And on the flip side of it, when you do all these no-fat, low-fat, and the diet drinks with all these diet sugars, it causes you to gain weight. And they're not telling you the truth on it. So, folks, do the research. Don't believe me. Don't believe April. I mean, we're very educated, but do the research. It's out there on the Internet. It's all over the Internet. 20 years ago, we didn't have near what we have now. It was just a drop in the bucket. So utilize that Internet. Do the research. You know, you can call me. You can call April Renee. And if we don't know the answer to something, I bet you we'll get it for you. We're going to find out for you. And I learned from my customers, oh, gosh, when I met April, I didn't even know how I found her. I think she was on the web somehow. I was studying about the vaccines, and I just was blown away with what this lady knew and educated herself on the truth on what they're putting in the vaccines. And what people, I don't know if you know this, you probably do, people don't realize that the polio vaccine, when it finally came to the U.S., guess what, folks? Polio was going away. So why did we need the vaccine? And because of the chemicals that they were putting in it, it caused another disease, the Guillain-Barré. I know I pronounced that wrong, Guillain-Barré or whatever. It caused that disease. Yeah.
And they also changed the name to aseptic meningitis, so they actually showed that increasing as polio was decreasing. It's ridiculous. It's totally ridiculous, the whole scam of vaccinations. But, you know, since being married to my husband, my late husband, Gary Tunsky, who was all about the cell, and you know, totally in line with what you're saying. I mean, his 21-day cleanse that he developed that we're continuing on, you know, we had a silver we were having a couple make in a garage, and I've chose to totally stop using them and totally come on board with what I'm learning about your silver. And I know we've been talking about it for years now, but I've already announced before you came on that we are replacing the silver that Gary has been using for about 5 years now with the Silver Angel. So we're real excited about the results, the advanced results, because we're already getting great results with the other products. So we're very excited to be using yours and uniting with you on healing people, especially with this whole campaign the drug companies are doing right now with this COVID-19. I mean, this is just insane. People walking around with a mask, and back to what you're saying, it's the inner condition of you upon exposure. It's not the germ that causes the disease. You don't go around wearing a mask. I mean, I walk into post office without the mask, and I'm like, stop watching the news. They're lying. Look up Antoine Bichon.
I mean, right, and that virus is out there. Don't get me wrong, folks, but you got to do the flip side of it and realize that the flu and pneumonia has killed more people than this virus. This is more hyped up. I personally believe, because I've got a lot of documentation from people that know people in Washington, that I'm not at liberty to discuss it, but I do believe that a lot of it is political with what's going on today. And just protect yourself. Build up your immune system. And I want to tell you something, folks. I did that 21-day cleanse that April Renee and Gary had, and oh, my goodness, not to be too blunt, but I saw stuff come out of me that I never seen before. And can you imagine? We all have parasites, folks, and you got to get rid of all these parasites. They feed off of you. They feed off of this white flour and white sugar that you're eating. Get rid of the white flour and white sugar. If you have to have sugar, I'm a coffee drinker. And when I was a flight attendant and did red eyes, I was in the galley drinking coffee all night long. Why did I do it? To stay awake. Well, then I'd get to my hotel room, and then I had to, detoxify myself from the caffeine to even sleep. So that, I usually didn't sleep, and then I'd have to check back in at 6 o'clock at night. But I switched over to a Dandy Blend substitute coffee, and you have to play around with it, because the first time I tried it, I went, oh, my goodness, my friend wants me to drink this. So I had to play around with it. But I'm a sugar and cream, so I use organic. Either coconut milk, sometimes organic, regular half and half, but I use organic coconut sugar or stevia, and make sure you get the organic stevia. And what people don't realize about stevia is it causes your pancreas to produce its own insulin. So a lot of people get off of their insulin, and I'm not telling you to get off your insulin. By no means. You check with your doctor for everything, but it helps the pancreas to produce its own insulin. So does cinnamon. I used to use it because diabetes runs in our family, but I used a product called Cinnamon Force by New Chapter, and it was phenomenal. But I called the company. I said, look, one little gel cap is not going to do the job, and they just only have to put the suggested amount, like your medicines. I mean, if you can do a pain medicine, it says 1 every 6 hours, but if you're in a lot of pain, you call the doctor, and the doctor says, oh, well, then do 2 every 6 hours. You know, you get approval. But on most supplements, they do the same thing. They label it to where it's a minimum. Like my bottle will say a teaspoon. I'm getting my new labels is, I think, going to say a tablespoon, and put on there that it's safe for children and pets, because it's not on there. And I have a lot of infants and children that get on my program, but for children and toddlers and infants, they're just going to do silver and probiotics. With adults or older children, they'll do those 2 products, and then I have these herbs that help kill the yeast. Because most babies today are being born with yeast. You get the cradle, what do they call that, cap or whatever, and you get thrush in the mouth, and they get sinus infections, diarrhea with the diaper rash. That's all yeast, and the mother passed it to the child in the birth canal. So I know that me, along with my siblings, we all had Candida yeast because we lived on antibiotics, but she had antibiotics before she gave birth to us, so I think that started it. And then, of course, and we ate good in our days, but, you know, it was still the typical white flour, white sugar, you know, which is not good for you. And
I was raised on Jiffy bread. I can't believe I'm so alive.
That? Do what now?
I said I was raised on Jiffy bread as I was growing up. Jiffy white bread. The whiter the bread, the sooner you're dead, my husband used to say.
Oh, how cute. And we were too. I mean, what was that other company besides Jiffy bread? It's still out there. And I can't believe they still sell this white toxic bread. And also, I have a really good advocate friend in the UK, and this is good information for everyone. Look him up. His name is Philip Day. And if you get a chance, he's got little bitty books, and you can read each book in probably a day or 2. But he's got all kinds of books out there, as you guys have the books and the CDs and the DVDs, and they're phenomenal to get to. Make sure you get a hold of a set of Gary and April's media that they have. But Philip Day has a CD called Angry Citizen. Oh, my goodness. You've got to listen to that. If that doesn't wake you up, nothing will. I've listened to that about 30. It's called Angry Citizen, and it's Philip Day. He's a researcher, health advocate in the UK. He travels all over, down under mostly. He did come to the U.S. about 12 years ago, but he didn't have hardly anybody show up because the person that brought him did not advertise like she should have, and there was like 35 people, and this man packs them into several thousand, quite a few thousand at each one of his seminars that he goes and gives, and they'll book for the next year, because if you don't buy a ticket, it'll get sold out. He's an amazing man. He's funny too, so make sure you've gone to the bathroom before you get ready to listen to him, you know, because you have to run to the bathroom and everything, because he just makes you so, you're just in stitches, because he's got that, you know, British sense of humor. And I'm not knocking the Brits. I have a lot of Brit friends, but he's very, very educated, and he will tell you the truth about vaccines and chemo radiation and all the stuff that's out there, the drugs that are controlling our children. In fact, I sent him the DVDs from the Citizens Commission Health Research, CCHR, and he was blown away. He said, I didn't even know this existed. That's been a long time ago that I sent them to him, because I like people to have, you know, these health people that I deal with. I always send them one of everything I did, so, because we got to help pay it forward and help educate people. But, folks, if you're thinking about a 3-day cleanse, don't waste your time and money. You've got to do this cleanse, this 21-day cleanse. You get a fabulous booklet. It starts with day 1, what to do, what to eat, what to take. It's amazing. And don't make it difficult. There might be some days you might feel a little more tired. Of course, you're getting rid of the bad in you. But you guys need to call this gal, April Renee. Get to her website, because she's very educated. She's very smart. She's very compassionate. And we're going to work together. And
Yep.
I've been putting her business card in every single package. And people say, oh, my goodness, CJ, where did you get this? I said, I met this gal years ago off the internet or somewhere, called your number or something. And I said,
I think you were even a supporter when we had the Autism Autoimmunity Project for the children. I think you were in contact with us back then.
Yes, I remember that because we talked about that, the autistic.
TAP.
And
TAP.
yeah, so yeah. So I'm not going to say I'm a genius, but I'm very smart in the silver arena. And you just gotta think, okay, I'm not losing weight. I'm drinking all this diet stuff. Get rid of it, folks. I'm telling you, it causes you to gain weight. Get rid of the low fat, the non-fat, the no fat. You've got to have fat to lose weight. And I tell my people, like, they'll be on my Candida program. They'll say, because it's no white flour, no sugar while you're on the program, but we're only human. So Christmas comes around, Thanksgiving comes around, we go out to eat. What are we going to want to have? A dessert. Go ahead and have the dessert. Don't deprive yourself. Just do it and don't feel guilty about it. Just take more probiotics or, whatever I suggest for you to take. But, don't die doing anybody's program. You're not going to die doing that 21-day cleanse. But I want to tell you something. When you get through with that 21-day cleanse, you're going to feel like a baby. If you can remember feeling like a little child or whatever, you're going to feel like you were then. You'll have the energy. You're getting rid of so much stuff. And then your body won't be craving. You can attest to this, I'm sure, that when you're detoxing, you won't be craving, I don't think, I didn't as much of and I eat organic desserts, but I was craving less by doing that cleanse. I need to do another one. It's so good. It is so good, folks. And if you run into any problems that you think that, gee, I don't know, this is kind of bothering me, I'm sure April Renee wouldn't mind you giving her a call or shoot her an email. She's there for you. Like us health people, Philip Day, Gary Null, all these people, we are there for you. We are on a mission to help mankind. That's what we're put on this earth, to help others. And we are.
That's
what do you have to say about that, April?
No, absolutely. I'm with you 100%. I mean, totally, we have to get the toxins out of our cells, which is what our cleanse is designed to do. And, the first week it targets the fluids of the cells or the fluids of the body and then the organs, but it takes 3 weeks to get to the cellular level. And I'm just really excited to add to our already perfected cleanse, your Silver Angel. I mean, this is just going to be, just an amplified cleanse now to have that natural, antibiotic, especially with what's going on right now and all the campaigning and everything. We have to strengthen our immune systems. If we have a strong immune system, nothing's going to affect it. I mean, even the 5G, the 5G is going to be huge as well in combination with whatever they're campaigning right now and the smart dust they're spraying in the air, the nanobots and all the stuff that they're doing. But again, if we have a lot of different avenues to help to get the cells strong to where, the agenda of the drug companies will not manifest. And we did these over past radio shows with Chris, with the boron combination with the organic apple cider vinegar and 8 ounces of water for the nanobots, and then also the Dr. Truott announced the organic extra virgin olive oil, how that's real important as well. So we have all these little things that Father's bringing to us to show people how to survive the insanity that the drug companies are up, the Gates, should I say, the Gates, the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers. It's not even the drug companies. It's the one that fund the medical schools, that write their textbooks, unfortunately, and there's an agenda going on. But we have enough wisdom to share with you, audience, to prevent you from being a victim. So really, it's just getting compliance. If we can just get people to change their ways and change their lifestyle to, like CJ said, she goes to 4 different health food stores in a week, and that's pretty much what we do as well. We find wherever we travel, we find where to get bug spray free food, where to get hormone free food. Even that's going to be pretty limited with this agenda they're pulling right now. They're having farms, slaughter their cows and their meats and pour out their raw milks and everything, we've been told recently. But anyway, we're going to have to go to pretty much a vegetarian diet because because the only safe thing that we're going to be able to eat is fish and maybe some eggs, maybe not even, maybe just a complete vegan diet. But we're going to have to definitely get ready to make some changes with all this agenda that they're moving forward with, clearly. So
absolutely. And folks, just because I've had people say, I said, well, when was the last time you did a cleanse? I always ask that to my customers. Oh, I don't do them. I eat real healthy, and I just fast one day and just have water. And I went, that's fine and dandy, and you're doing a great job. But it's like your car. You can put good gas in all the time. You can put good oil in it. But after a long time, after you've been running it, that car is sludgy. It's got bad oil in it. You've got to, drain that out and put the good oil in. It's the same thing with the body. I don't care how good you eat, and I eat 95 to 99%. Everything's organic. I mean, the 1% is when I go out to eat. But folks, there's only 5 or 6 restaurants in Colorado where I'm at that I will even eat at, and these people know me. They know me, and they know how picky I am. I ask questions when I go in there. Now, a lot of the menus will say free-range meat, or beef or whatever. And so when you are dealing with not being well, I always suggest, even if you are well, minimize the red meat, even if it's free-range, because beef, believe it or not, is very acid to the body. It's very acidic. And pork, I'm sorry, folks, but I was a big pork eater. Oh, yes, ma'am, bacon and eggs, sausage and egg. But pork is, and this is something that Philip Day talks about in that CD. And folks, try to get that Angry Citizen CD. I'm telling you, you are going to learn so much. Listen to it every time you get in your car. I'm telling you, you'll learn something every time. But he talks about how pork is a homotoxin. It's loaded with parasites. I don't think people realize that when that butcher is chopping up that pig or that hog, and there's live parasites when they're chopping up. Guess where those parasites go, folks? Into the food chain. So it's hard. It was hard to give up, but I gave it up. I only eat fish, and it's got to be from good waters. I'll eat salmon or, a good trout. And that's really it. I mean, I did have, for the first time in 14, 15 years, I did have turkey a few years ago. But I do better with some steamed vegetables. Oh, you can make a great steamed vegetable or do a burrito. I mean, you can make your food fun. I mean, you can make the best burritos or Mexican food, or Italian food, but use everything that's organic. And don't overcook it, folks. Stop overcooking your food. Get rid of the toaster oven. Get rid of the microwave. Get a toaster oven. Once you have that toaster oven, it just becomes so natural. And so that I put duct tape on my microwave before I finally got it out when I had guests because I didn't want them using it. I duct taped it, and I said out of service, out of order. And I said broken. And it's broken to the human people to be using it. And I know it's easy to heat your food up, but let me tell you something. When you break the chain and the habit, you're going to start saying, oh, my goodness, I'm tasting real food. I'm sure you guys, when y'all switched over to whenever that was years ago from regular food to the good food, wasn't there a difference in your taste bud with these foods?
Absolutely, absolutely. We got rid of our way before I met Gary, probably over 20 years ago. I threw my wet microwave out. It just rips up the food, and it was no big deal. I mean, warming up, like a cup of coffee in a pan on the stove wasn't much longer than sticking it in the microwave that ripped it up and destroyed it more than what it already is, type of thing. So for sure, no microwaves and clean food. It tastes a lot better, and doing our cleanse twice a year, minimal. We recommend. Miriam and I have been doing it lately with all this campaigning they're doing every 2 months. Our cleanse, we did it in January and March, and we're going to be doing it next month as well. Because every time you do it, it digs more toxins out of the cells that we accumulate, just by walking and breathing the air. I mean, it's just we're bombarded with toxins, so it's so important to do it minimal twice a year. And now that we have this wonderful product that we're now switching over to your silver opposed to the one we've been using, so I'm real excited to even see the amazing results we're going to receive from it.
Right, and folks, April Renee's website will be on my website, which mine is silverorganic.com. Don't pay attention to so much of that website because it's going to be transitioned over. We'll cancel that one out soon, and we're working on the new one. One of my distributors in New Zealand's working on it. Her name's Jane. Just fantastic. We have designed the new bottle label. It's going to look like a medicine bottle because a lot of people they want to deal with something that's been around for a long time. They don't want to say, oh, my goodness, I wonder how long this website's been up with these products. They order and then they go back to try to find the product, and they can't find it anymore. So we're kind of going back to the old school. There's an article on the silver coin that will be on my new website. I don't know that we're going to be able to let you order off the website, because you can't order off my website now, because it won't let me give all the different discounts. Folks, I give up to 40% off depending on your quantity. I'm telling you, you never pay full retail, hardly ever. If you mention you heard me on this show or Facebook, or I'm in another book, there's another guy I'd like to kind of promote out there. His name is Robert Wright, W-R-I-G-H-T. He's got the book Killing Cancer, Not People. He's phenomenal. He's got me on 4 pages in his book, and he's a wonderful man. He's done research on cancer, and there's a lot of good products that he talks about in the book. I'm very familiar with a lot of them. They're very, very good. I don't put my eggs in one basket and say you have to do everything I tell you to do. No, I'll tell you that there are some good products, and that's a good product to take, because we've got to pay it forward. But April Renee's website will be on my new website that should be launching soon. I'm hoping this month, if not the first part of May. And I'll be on her website. So let's help each other. And like I was saying, do these cleanses. Your body did not get cancer or diabetes or all these other illnesses and diseases overnight. It did not happen overnight. Some people say, oh, I'm very healthy.
Compounding insufficiencies.
That's
but I'm really excited.
But I mean,
we got to start closing now. So just let's wrap it up, and I'll do the final statements here. But we're coming to see you, and I'll tell them in a second that. Go ahead and use your final words now, and then we're going to close out for now.
Okay. Just think of all the different illnesses you have, and most of them are caused by the Candida yeast, because you're lacking the friendly flora in the intestine. So call me, call April. Let's get on a good protocol. You can find me on silverorganic.com. My phone number is 719-243-4944. It's best to text, because I don't switch over when I'm giving my full attention to customers. So just text me, and I'll call you back. Give me a good time, and I'll call you back. I'm here for you. If you can't sleep and you just need to talk to someone, text me even if it's midnight. And if I'm up, I'll call you. I'm here for you. So,
awesome,
and pay attention to April Renee. Thank you very much.
You're listening to Vic Fellowship, and our shows can be accessed on the front page of our vacinfo.org website, on the belly of a little boy flexing his muscles. We're on every Monday at 2 p.m. Eastern. Our contact number is 800-939-8227. If you have any questions about today's show, please call the voicemail line 862-800-6805 and leave your name, your question, and let them know it's for our What in the Cell is Going On radio show. We thank Progressive Radio Network for allowing us to give you this uncompromised truth, and ya bless.